This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on this Football Friday. Ready to rock and roll. Remember, half hour from now, my dad back with us for his annual picks. We do it each and every Friday. His season debut coming up in about a half hour. Really pumped about our next guest here, who we've had on the show a couple times before. He has actually been in Fargo multiple times. Last year, I believe he did the NDSU football UND hockey doubleheader in October. The man loves his North Dakota sports, and he works in Charleston, South Carolina. He is Scott Eisberg. He is the sports director at WCIV TV in Charleston. Get ready to host us here later today. He's actually hosting guys from Fargo this weekend, and that's not a joke. We talked about this. I had you on when the game was scheduled, and now here it is. So I guess the big question is, have you seen Bison fans yet in Charleston?
I have not. I have not seen Bison fans yet, but I'm assuming it's coming. There's a lot of buzz around this game. I mean, it is one of those things where I didn't think we'd ever see it coming. And then with these games, you never know because they're getting bought out left.
Yep.
And, you never know what's happening with schedules. So the fact that it is happening, here we go. But I've not yet seen a Bison fan in town.
Maurice Drayton at his press conference Monday seemed devastated that the weather wasn't going to be hot. So that's the big thing on every Bison fan that's coming. What do you got for forecast for the next 36 hours?
Maybe a little. I asked our meteorologist. We are looking at a little rain tomorrow.
Okay.
So a possibility of some sprinkles there. I don't think that really affects the game. It's a turf field. It's not grass anymore. But yeah, like 79 is the high. Humidity is low.
Come on, man.
It's all we've been talking about is, North Dakota State can't handle a Charleston summer. Well, turns out, not only have the injury gods, I guess, blessed North Dakota State, but the weather ones have too.
Well, and I mean, typically you live there. I mean, heck, I know sometimes this time of year you've been doing hurricane coverage. I mean, that's for real. Like, and when I saw the game scheduled for when it was, I'm like, well, that maybe 50-50 on it actually happens because this time of year, that's a real proposition, is it not?
Yeah, no. The Hurricanes actually, it is hurricane season. I mean, literally, our high school teams typically build in a week to reschedule a game if they have to. We know it's coming all the time. I mean, it's a potentially can happen anytime during this 3-month stretch. But that being said, I mean, I have felt some of the hottest days of my life at Johnson Hagan Stadium. It is a big cement block that just takes in heat. I mean, I can tell you there are several games that I've shot there where I'm like, this is brutal. There is nothing enjoyable about this. So, yeah, that was my biggest worry.
Yeah.
Why are they playing it at noon? Especially because I'm assuming you would broadcast the game regardless if it was at noon or at 7 o'clock at night. ESPN Plus would have it regardless. I don't know why the noon kick, unless that was thrown into the deal where North Dakota State wanted to get back early or something.
As far as I know, no. So I that part because I was fully, I said it on the show. I was fully under the impression we're going to play at night. Like, it's going to be a night game because it's in late August and try and, get away from the weather or from the heat. And that is obviously not the case of what's going to happen.
The only thing is that, maybe butts in the seats just
maybe.
Clemson plays LSU tomorrow night. And there are going to be you might be out of town already, but I mean, those bars will be filled. People will be, our station is just counting the money because we're an ABC station. So cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching with that Clemson LSU game tomorrow night. So there certainly would be competition with that, but I'm not sure that's why Citadel would move it to and keep it at noon.
All right, so give us what you know on Maurice Drayton's program here. He said it to me when he was on the show when it was 100 days out from kickoff, and it's been a much popular quote that a couple years ago they were the worst team in FCS. They didn't win a game 2 years ago. Is he ahead of schedule where he wanted to be in year 3? They won 5 games last year. How would you evaluate where they're at as a program?
They were much improved last year. They really were. The cupboard was pretty bare. There also had to be a lot of change in decision-making and attitude at the Citadel because they were very much anti-NIL very much anti-portal, all the things I think you just have to embrace right now. They were very much against it. This is a place that's built on tradition,
Yeah.
that network that, I earned the ring, you're gonna earn the ring. And when you have guys transferring in and getting money to go there and all those things, taking night school grad classes, not part of the Corps of Cadets, you're gonna have the old guard that's not happy about that. So I think Maurice had to battle that, right? And then little things that he had to battle. Maurice had battles that normal coaches don't have. Perfect example, last year, we had a good story for us was the fact that their starting quarterback was a guy named Jonathan Bennett, came in from Liberty. He's from Charleston. He played high school ball here, and we've known Jonathan forever. We get out to the first game of the year, and Jonathan Bennett's not allowed to speak to the media on camera because he had a little bit of facial hair.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, so Maurice Drayton is fighting the fact that we're literally having to point the cameras. Uh-oh.
No, you got. I'm good. I got you.
Yeah. We're literally having to point the cameras at the ground because Jonathan Bennett's not allowed on camera
That's
because
wild.
he's got a little bit of facial hair. Those are the battles that Maurice Drayton is having to fight on a daily basis. So, yeah, I think 5 wins puts them in a tremendously good trajectory. But again, every year is a new year in college football now. Every year is completely different now. So the fact is, he says, I mean, and the one thing is, you could take Maurice at his word. He said the other day, we're a good team. We're not a bad team like we were my first year. We're a pretty good team. I don't know if that's going to equal wins and losses. And he knows that beating North Dakota State is like jumping to the summit of the mountain. He is fully aware of that. He's not playing that we're equal sort of thing. He's playing the fact that we've got to play a pretty perfect game to beat them. And we're going to have a plan to try and do that. So yeah, I think the trajectory is good. I don't think that trajectory is anything for North Dakota State to worry about. You're playing with a backup quarterback in essence. I mean, you've waited 3 years for the guy that was supposed to be playing now, and he injures himself as a waiter at a restaurant. Starting running back Ibrahim out. He's not going to play. So I mean, we don't know anything about this running back situation. I mean, we know the 2 guys who were there. One, they're transfer guys, but don't know a whole lot about them. So there's a lot of unknowns in there. The only unknown is special teams. It's going to be very good. They have All-American punter, good kicker, and Maurice Drayton teams block a ton of kicks.
That's something, honestly, Tim Polisic, Bison head coach, has certainly been aware of this week, knowing that, and Polisic is a Packer now that he knows what Maurice coached in Green Bay, and the Bison have a new punter and a new kicker that are going to make their debuts tomorrow. That's something, at least for me, I'm keeping my eyes out on what could potentially go haywire tomorrow.
And I think it says a lot about Drayton and what he does with special teams. I think this punter is NFL type caliber.
Yeah.
He was offered $50,000 by an ACC school to transfer this year, and
Wow.
he didn't. I think that says a lot about his number one dedication to the Citadel, but also the dedication to Maurice Drayton. Him and a guy named Tony Coxum is the special teams coach. Both of them are former NFL guys. I think there's a lot of trust there in what they could do for his career. That being said, we're talking about the punter right now. I don't think Citadel wants to be punting very much if they're going to have a chance at winning tomorrow.
I got to ask, we were talking about fans. Obviously, Clemson plays tomorrow night. What's an average for fans that are going to go tomorrow to expect? What's a crowd like at a Citadel home game?
I think usually it's like 7,000, 7,000. I think tomorrow is over 10,000, 10,000 plus. It's a weird situation. It used to be in the 20s because they had 2 full sides of the stadium. And then one of the sides was literally like bulldozed. They had it had all sorts of like structural issues, super old. And it's been 10 years now and they haven't rebuilt it. They just have a bleachers on the visiting side. I think the bleachers hold 1,000 people. That's it. So a lot of the North Dakota State fans are going to be sitting on the Citadel side. which is where you want to be sitting because the sun is going to face the other way. And the fact that, you could have seat backs and everything like
Yeah.
that
Yep.
on the Citadel side, which you are not going to have on the other side. Plus, the only thing that's on the other side, I think, like in the past, they've done like a beer garden over
Okay.
there. But the Citadel side has all the concessions. You're fine. I mean, it's gonna mix Citadel. So the one cool thing that Citadel that they have is they put the whole Corps of Cadets together. They're all in uniform. They're
Nice.
all together. They're all gonna be in one section. They're gonna be doing push-ups and they're gonna be standing the whole game. They're not allowed to sit down. There's cool parts of the pageantry that you'll experience tomorrow. The tailgate scene is really cool. It's not on a main street. It's the street that Johnson Haygood Stadium sits on is right next door to a high school football stadium, and then the River Dogs minor league baseball stadium are all in a row.
Okay.
So all of those parking lots together become a pretty cool
Nice.
tailgate area. Super easy walk over to the stadium. You're walking a block or two from the tailgate areas right there. And then once you get in, the pageantry is cool. Just being a military college, the Corps of Cadets will line up on the field. They'll march out and then line up, and the team runs out through them. And I mean, it's just it's a cool, different
different.
atmosphere.
Yep.
And Johnson Haygood's look. It's not gonna feel like the Fargo Dome. I've been there twice, and it's incredible in there. It's not gonna feel like that at all. But there is a lot of buzz about this game tomorrow. People know North Dakota State's coming in, and I think that's just gonna bring kind of your general football fans as well.
That's cool. Looking forward to that. It's almost been 10 years since you made your Fargo debut. I was looking back the Charleston Southern trip, which I don't know if they've been relevant since that game in Fargo where Jamie Chadwell nearly pulled off the upset of upsets. Now he's went on to bigger, but thanks to you, he's went on to bigger and better things, obviously. What do we think for football in that area? You've lived there for 20 years. You've covered everything. How good is the high school football, the college football in the city of Charleston?
Yeah, I mean, I think the high school football is good. I mean, but our high school football has just been attacked by the transfer portal too.
Oh,
I mean, that's the funny thing. I was talking to a coach on the first day of practice this year, and he said, "Oh, where are you going today?" And I said, "Oh, I'm running over. I'm at one school, and I'm going over to your crosstown rival." And then he goes, "Oh, well, say hi to my best player because they poached him." Stuff like that. That's what we're doing. So the best are becoming better, and the others are kind of going that way. So we're seeing more of a split. So our 2 or 3 best teams are they are stacked.
Yeah.
Stacked. And the rest of them are just, it's a tough situation.
That's
so,
wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the football is changing, just the landscape is changing here. As far as colleges go, I mean, look, South Carolina and Clemson are doing well with the NIL. They're doing well with all of that, money stuff. I hope that, one thing that's going to hurt our schools locally in town is the fact this 9th SEC game is now that they're going to have to cut out that FCS game, which helps fund them. That's gonna hurt. But I mean, I think out of all of our teams right now, the far and away best one is South Carolina State in the MEAC. They played in the Celebration Bowl last year. They were really good. This coach there is a really good coach. CSU. They were awful last year. We'll see how they handle Diego Pavia and Nashville tomorrow in Vanderbilt. And I think CSU, I'm not really sure. Citadel is on the rise for sure, and Coastal Carolina seems, since Chadwell left, seems to be kind of a stagnant team. But they're the ones that are going to get stuck in that. They're not getting the NIL funding anywhere close to what the USCs and the Clemsons are. So. Kind of tough, but yeah, I mean, football in the South's always king. I mean, just like it is up there. But I just think the haves and the have-nots are splitting themselves in both college and high school, and that's the one thing I don't love about it.
Last thing before I let you go, I mentioned this off the top. You're actually hosting some guys from Fargo. Can you tell us about how this all came about?
Yeah, so I have got these weird ties to Fargo. Well, first of all, the Morton family,
yes.
I've known quite well for a long time now, and that's what brought me up there last year is Josh Morton, Augustana's athletics director, is one of my close friends, and so I've always been treated well in Fargo. But a couple years ago, and there should be a story in your paper.
Yes.
I think it's supposed to be today, maybe tomorrow. But there was a guy named Collins Moe.
Yep.
He was a guy in Charleston. He went to the Citadel who lost his fantasy football league, and his punishment was to go to Fargo in the middle of winter. And so these two guys, this guy, Rich McFarland from Grand Forks, was on his plane, heard his story, and called a buddy of his named Pat Thiel, who lives in Fargo, and said, "You got to take care of this guy. You got to hear this story." Pat Thiel took care of him. They went out, and he became a star in Fargo.
Yeah, he was at a Bison basketball game. He got treated like royalty at a Bison hoops game.
Yeah, and then I was like, I got to do a story. I know they did a story on it up there. I said, I got to do a story on this. So I got on a group text with Collins, Pat, and Rich. And 4 years later, that group text is still going on. Like, we're still texting.
That's so awesome. That's so cool.
All the time. So when I went up to Fargo last year, I met Rich and Pat for the first time. I said, the invitation is open. We have 2 guest rooms. If you're coming for the game, you got a place to stay. They took us up on it. So I'm picking them up at the airport tomorrow morning at 10:45. 10:47, they're playing Lands. We're going to go right to Johnson Haygood. They're going to watch the game with Collins. And then after I'm done with my work, we're all going to go out and, have a couple cocktails in Charleston.
That's so awesome.
And enjoy. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy thing. So they interviewed us for a story up there. So I'm looking forward to how it all goes and seeing those guys.
That's so awesome. And that's just, in times when social media is such a drag sometimes, that's where it can really be cool, to connect people that never in any sort of world would be connected. And that's really, really neat. It's great to see you, bud. I can't wait to see it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll make sure.
Yeah, I'll be down on the field tomorrow. Obviously, I'm not going to get there till right before kickoff because I gotta wait at the airport for Pat and Rich.
You got some royalty coming in from Fargo to entertain, but I'll make sure to find you. Thanks for giving us some time. Have a good luck tonight on some Friday Night Football, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Well, hey, you can watch the show tonight.
I will. I'm going to watch tonight.
11:05 ABC News 4, and then the Waffle House is open all night. Just walk next door afterwards for some food.
Hey, our production team will love to hear that. Great to see you, bud. Thanks for the time. All right.
All right, see you, Dom.
There he goes, Scotty Eisberg, WCIV TV Sportscaster of the Year in South Carolina a couple times over, and a friend to us up here in Fargo. And how cool is that? We've had Pat. I know Rich watches the show several times, so that's fantastic. If you missed it, McFeely wrote a column about it. You can look at it at inforum.com. Search that Collins Moe. You'll find it's a great story. Great story. That went viral. I think a couple of national outlets picked it up as well when it happened here a couple of years ago. All right, we're overdue for a break. We'll get caught up. We'll give Eric time to spike the football on the Micah Parsons deal and a couple other emails coming in. Again, we're about 10 minutes out from my Pops joining us. And then we got to get to the airport because we got to get out of here. Hot Mike, back after this.